Hello?
Yes. We're excited to have you back on the phone, Mr. Timothy.
Hey, thanks, Marshall. How's it going?
It's going well. I'm going to tee it up. I'll ask you some questions to share with us about your experience, and we'll get going here, okay?
Sounds great.
Why don't we start with you introducing yourself and what you do and how long you've been with the Thrive Coaching Program.
Yeah, my name's Tim Johnson. I am an ophthalmologist, which means an eye doctor in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I have been with the Thrive program for 3 months now. Is that right?
Yeah,
3 or 4 months.
Yeah, probably about 3 or 4 months. How did you originally hear about the Thrive Coaching Program?
I got onto the podcast from another podcast. And so I listened to the podcast. I listened to the podcast for a while.
Yeah.
And then took a chance and called.
Okay. What was like the thing that really, because we've talked about that in the past, is you're coming into the coaching program and you're a little bit skeptical. You're like, what is this thing? You know, like what was your mindset going into your first call with our team and the overall experience with us?
I guess to answer a different question first, the thing that made sense to me was hearing that business people needed coaches. That seemed foreign. But then Clay would talk about how Tom Brady needs a coach because he's the best quarterback ever. And I got to thinking that, well, that's true. And then he would talk about how other business people like Steve Jobs had a coach. And so it sort of created this idea or showed me that is a possible need. So then when I called, I called, or you called me. We talked for like an hour. He asked me a bunch of questions, and it seemed a lot of questions that I had never thought of, and so it sort of demonstrated things that I hadn't been thinking about, that the corners around which you could see that I hadn't even noticed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And so we get going. And how often do we meet? What is our coaching schedule?
Yeah, so we meet an hour a week when things are going well. When there are emergencies, I've been amazed at how responsive you've been. I've had 1 or 2, and you'll get on the phone with me as soon as you get the message, and we'll talk. And we need to outside of that.
And what successes? You said 3 months with the coaching program. What successes, what wins have you seen within your practice? Because I know that you've been operating the practice for a number of years, and you've already begun to see some wins. So what are some of those wins that you've seen?
A lot of small wins and a lot of big ones. Small ones first. We are at the top if you Google cataract surgeon in Tuscaloosa. Putting my name on there, getting Google reviews, things like that. Also reaching out to referring doctors, systematizing that, putting a lot of systems in place in the practice where we were being much more haphazard in the past. And then bigger wins, cutting back hours and being sustained and not increased productivity and profitability.
And you don't have to share you don't have to share gross numbers, but in terms of the impact of the maybe the percentage or how much you've grown in the past, how much more business that you're doing now in terms of the amount of growth that you've experienced or what you're on pace to do, how would you describe the amount of growth you're experiencing as a physician that's been in business for many, many years?
Yeah, I think the last 2 months over the same 2 months the previous year, our practice is up somewhere between 10 and 20% over the last year, probably closer to 20%.
That's awesome.
It's really grown a lot, yeah.
One of the things that you mentioned was the Dream 100 system that we talked about, and when I first described it, you're like, that makes sense. I don't know why I haven't done it, or I've done it in the past, but I haven't, done it consistently. Describe to us what the Dream 100 system has been for your practice and why you've seen it work.
Yeah, so we work closely with doctors who refer us patients, other doctors who refer us patients. And, I knew that was important, and I made it a point to have relationships with them, but I wasn't consistent. And I think when you lack the consistency, you lack the outcome, the desired outcome. And being consistent in going every week to each person on that list has really improved those relationships. And a lot of our referral sources have pointed that out, where we get a much better feedback from them, and more referrals.
And when we work with clients, when I think we first described this, they think that they have to come in and do some type of crazy value or have a speech prepared when they go in and talk to these different people. What types of conversation is being had, and how simple are the things that you're dropping off at these doctors' offices?
We just bring them a bag of candy or a box of donuts and say, hey, think about it. That's it. So yeah, I mean, it's not rocket science. Depending on the practice, we'll talk to the people because we have a relationship with them. But some of them is just saying, hey, just checking up, making sure everything's okay. It takes like 5 minutes.
That's all you're doing.
During the lunch break.
Yeah. Just a bag of candy, and you just go drop it off.
Yeah, and then I think one week we decided to shake it up. We brought flowers, like tulips or something like that. Yeah. And they got really mad at us. They told us. And so we try not to. We don't rock the boat anymore. We just go with candy or donuts.
And how you said how often that you go out and do this?
Our goal is to hit every referral source every week.
And that's as simple as it is. Bag of candy every week to every referral source.
Yeah, or a box of donuts or cookies or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a big expense, and not. I mean, I think the point is not that it's a big effort. It's just a sustained small token, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it's just.
And you're seeing that even something that is completely unrelated to your practice, like donuts. Donuts have nothing related to do with your practice and the quality that you do. And you're seeing that's what's actually getting you to refer patients.
Yeah, because one of the things that made sense to me was that a lot of referrals come from non-providers, like people at the front desk or the secretary or something like that. That may not be true for everybody, but at least the doctors I've talked to like that you go and bring their whole staff donuts or candy, because you're showing the whole staff that you appreciate them, the whole team, and not just the business owner, if that makes sense. And so I think it's nice to have something that's shareable and not just bring the doctor like a gift just for the referral source, but something for the whole business, the whole team over there.
The last thing that I'm going to ask you is about Google reviews. Something as simple as like a little Google review. We're in a technology day and age. Tell me about your experience with Google reviews. Did you think that Google reviews were going to have as big of an impact on your business as they've had? Describe your experience in getting Google reviews and optimizing your listing and how that's affected your business.
Yeah, so it takes a long time to learn how to do cataract surgery. It takes years. And what's crazy to me is that I think like a couple of weeks ago, we got my name as a standalone search for cataract surgeon in Tuscaloosa. And we've gotten 2 Google reviews for me over the last week or two. And already I'm at the top of that search result. And we've had patients who have come in because of that search result. And it shocks me that you would do that, but that's what people do, and it works. And so it may not be the ideal, but it's the way it is. And so they're going to go somewhere. They might as well go see you.
So as far as your experience with the coaching program, what has been some of the, maybe one of the unforeseen benefits of having a coach? You talked about having the, Tom Brady, Steve Jobs having a coach. What's something that you didn't expect that you really benefited from the coaching experience? I mean, we teach you the path, but a lot of the things that you and I have talked about have been things that you said, oh yeah, I know that. What has been some of the unforeseen benefits for anybody that's considering to getting started with a coach?
For me, the big thing was consistency and you calling me out. Like you called me out today on following through with a couple things that I knew to do. I just hadn't done well. And so it's easy to know what to do. It's hard to do it, and it's really hard to do it well consistently over time. And so it helps to have someone looking at you to say you know what to do. You're just not doing it well. Does that make sense? Or you didn't bring the fire this time. You need to step it up or get back on track.
Why do you think it's hard for business owners to do that?
I think it's just hard. I don't know. Business is a hard slog sometimes, and you kind of want to just go home and lick your wounds. And so, but it's good. But you want to do it, and so if you have somebody there who can cheer you on or I don't know, press you to keep going, it's easier to do it with somebody else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, have a team member with you.
Yeah. Just knowing, like I had one interpersonal issue. It wasn't me, but it was between two staff members, and that was one of the emergencies we had. And it was interesting. I called you, and you immediately figured out what was going on, just even though you aren't in my office. And it was nice because I thought it was kind of an emergency, and it wasn't really. You sort of talked me through it, and we got through it. And it hasn't been an issue since. It was good to have an outside perspective there.
Right, objective, where somebody. Yeah. What advice would you give to somebody who's considering the program? Maybe they're listening to this and they're like, man, like I've thought about doing coaching, but I don't know whether or not I can afford it, or I don't know if it's for me, or I don't know if it'll work for my business. What advice would you have for that person?
I would definitely give this program a shot. I think for me, the month-to-month model was really low risk, and I've gotten a lot of value out of it. We created a website, done a lot of search engine optimization and transcription services. There's a lot of value there.
Has there been a lot of different like marketing or coaching? There's like the catch. There's like, yeah, that seems great, but there's like an upsell or a catch or something like that. Have you had that experience? Have we just shamelessly just upsold you books and a ton of other stuff?
I'm still waiting for the catch. I'm wondering. There really hasn't been a catch. It's been very. I think that was the problem. But then because it was month to month, I figured I could get out, and It hasn't been. It's just been very. People who genuinely want you to succeed, and who I think one of the things, we were talking about doctors and trying to get doctors involved in the program. One of the things, it's easy to say, well, medicine's different, but it's really not. It's just, it is different, but it's still a business. And so you treat it differently because there's the patient involved, but you need to be good at business so that you can give good medicine. You see a lot of doctors who can't do good medicine because they don't do good business. And so I think if you want to be able to do good medicine, you have to do good business so that you are in control. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. That's awesome.
I think it's the opposite of what people think it should be. You need to take control of the business so that you can maintain your control of the medicine.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. What you talk about is meta, and that is such a large part of what we do. Is you have to schedule time to work on the business, not just in the business, not just doing cataract surgeries, but also thinking about the business of doing cataract surgeries.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you sharing with your experience, and I'll talk with Clay, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Cool. Thanks a lot. I hope that helps.
All right. Thanks, Timothy. Talk to you then. Bye.
Okay.
Are you serious about growing your business? Save yourself both time and money by signing up for the world's most affordable and effective education for entrepreneurs today at ThriveTimeSchool.com. Is ThriveTimeSchool.com worth it? For just $228 per year, you'll receive 24/7 access to thousands of entrepreneurial training videos taught by world-class mentors, 2 tickets to an in-person 15-hour workshop per year, and you'll have access to hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of templates, checklists, and tangible proven systems. Because we only want 2,500 people per year into our program, you'll want to sign up today at ThriveTimeSchool.com. Again, that's ThriveTimeSchool.com.